Hey everybody, welcome back to King's Quest 6. I am the Blues 32. And last we left off, we just solved this puzzle for absolutely no reason.
Alexander pulls
We're
out his
leaving right
magic
now.
map.
There's no point in going up there just yet.
Alexander feels a strange pulling sensation.
In fact, it is bad news up there. Let me tell you.
One of the oysters is sitting up in bed and doesn't look very happy. He seems to be the only one who can't sleep. In the oyster's mouth,
Yay?
Alexander can see a glint of white.
Well, what would be in an oyster's mouth?
Alexander hears someone coming.
Oh boy.
Five fierce guards of the isle we be. Watch for a foreign man, said he, with ears and nose, tongue, hands, and eyes. Its nature cannot be disguised. If man it be, then man it dies.
Oh dear. I don't think that's necessary, folks.
Old Tom Troll, smell your smell. Do that which you do so well.
Why are you... Oh, never mind.
Alexander holds the flower of stench out to the gnome with the jumbo nose.
Sniff this!
Tom Troll I am, that's all I'll be. My nose knows all on land and sea. A
You sound
flower
congested.
stench has washed ashore. A flower 'tis all, and nothing more. Listen, hark you, Grovenor, do your duty as you swore. With your ears, please tell us more.
You guys all have well, never mind, doesn't matter.
The mechanical nightingale's hard tin body doesn't feel anything like a real bird's soft feathers.
That's fine, I wasn't trying to do that.
Alexander winds the tin nightingale and plays it for the gnome with the monumental ears.
Of course he doesn't hear the cranking noise. Oh, that sounds exactly like a nightingale. He'll be full for sure. What?
A nose is not a way to spy. My ears cannot be told a lie. A nightingale is all there be. No man is near, and so say me.
I don't think this guy knows what a nightingale actually sounds like.
No, whether friend or whether foe.
Ugh.
Alexander holds the mint out for the gnome with the gigantic mouth.
Grumflump knows a tasty treat. It matters not what others bleat. No danger is this one so sweet.
Weirdo.
Trilly dilly, use your hands. Is it beast or is it man?
Stop giving me hints! You're making the...
Alexander holds the rabbit foot out for the gnome with the huge hands.
Die.
Be all you mad? What aileth thee? A bunny can't trill merrily. A hare does not at all taste sweet. A rabbit here is all we greet.
Old Bill Batter, never fatter. Vision can resolve this matter.
Clearly.
Look you now and end this chatter.
Alexander pours the contents of the empty-looking ink bottle over himself.
By all that's beauteous, fair, and sightly, 4 morons do I sleep with nightly. There's nothing there at
It
all,
sure takes
I
a long
say.
time to open
Enough
his
of this.
eyes.
Let's now away.
That is the last we will ever see of them.
Alexander did it. He's fooled the guards. Alexander picks up the object floating in the water. It appears to be a string of letters. They say, "Where are you going?" Alexander decides to keep the odd sentence, even though it is incomplete.
How is it an incomplete sentence? Where are you going? Now let's read this guy a bedtime story, eh?
Perhaps Alexander should find out more about the oyster first.
Oh, fine.
Why aren't you asleep like the other oysters?
Oh, I'm so weary, but I can't sleep. I have a terrible ache in my mouth.
You should go to a dentist.
If you're having trouble sleeping, perhaps you'd like me to read to you.
Hey, that would be great.
2 dulcimers raised to the degree of 40 half
Oh,
dulcimers.
God.
Alexander makes a grab for the pearl.
Yoink!
Hey, you fixed my mouth. It feels great.
The little oyster drifts into peaceful slumber with the rest of his oyster friends.
Excellent. Let's see what else is around here.
The tail end of this island is a riotous scramble of books, sand, and a spider's web. The tail. Piles of stacked books, looking ready to topple at any moment, have been arranged haphazardly on the sandy ground.
Let's have a look at this. Yeah!
Hey, hands off the goods there, son.
Oh, sorry. Hello? Is anyone there in the books?
That's an odd question.
No, there's no one here.
Oh, well, sorry.
There's no reason to use that on a pile of books.
Well, I don't remember what I'm supposed to do here.
Alexander investigates the intricate spider's web in the corner.
Aye.
The spider who lives there is not amused. Alexander feels the tiny pinprick of the spider's...
And I'm dead. Oh dear.
Tickets.
When did I save?
Next.
Why do you think they call her a widow?
Okay, good. How you doing?
Wow. Hiya, gorgeous. Oh, what a luscious-looking hunk of flesh you are.
Sorry?
Thank you.
Just look at my
Hey, don't touch that thread.
Alexander snatches the scrap of parchment, curious to see what's written on it.
Yoink. Well,
The wind blows the scrap of paper from Alexander's hand, but he remembers what it said well enough.
yeah, it's not like it's hard to remember.
The tail end of this...
Hello?
No.
Hello?
No. Hey, hands off. Hey. Hey.
What am I supposed to do here? I can wait.
A large tree stretches knotted limbs out over the swamp. Part of the tree's trunk is shaped like the face of a dog. Why, it must be a dogwood tree.
Uh-huh.
Milkweed thrives near the mucky swamp. Small bottles filled with milk grow on it like fruit. Alexander takes a bottle of milk from the milkweed bush.
Hey, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Apparently, the dogwood tree doesn't like Alexander standing that close. There appears to be a hole in the garden wall.
It also seems to have hands and legs.
Through the hole in the wall, Alexander sees a land that resembles a giant chessboard. Wow, it really is a hole in the wall.
Oh, settle down.
Zounds, those wallflowers sure are shy, and the snapdragons are awfully protective of them. Alexander can't even get close to the wallflowers without causing quite a stir.
Let's see what happens if I try to take the wall.
Alexander decides to pick up the hole in the wall. A hole in the wall could be a very useful thing. Alexander startled the poor thing. It's run off to hide behind the wallflowers.
How do you make the wallflowers relax? I'm having trouble remembering a lot of this. You know, I'm doing this all from memory, you know.
Alexander takes a close look at the tomato in the ground.
Ugh.
It appears to be darker than those on the vines.
What are you staring at there, boy? Go away, you rootless thing, you! Yeah!
Yep, that tomato is definitely rotten.
Good day, tomato vines.
Good morning.
Alexander says to no one in particular.
What a pleasant garden this is.
The inhabitants smile shyly but do not reply.
How did you manage to fall off the vine, Mr. Tomato?
What do you think? I'm old, I'm rotten! Yeah! Leave me alone!
Oh,
If
I
you say so.
not.
After all, you're just gonna let me sit here and rot on this dry ground like everybody else, aren't you?
Why, I don't know. I suppose...
Ah, never mind. Just go away. Ah.
Eh.
Hey, what do you think you're doing there? Get your hands off me! Hey!
Alexander picks up rotten tomato and puts him away.
Mine.
One never knows when one will need a rotten tomato.
I go to a bad comedian show. Let me see, do you tickle the flowers?
Would you ladies be at all interested in this?
The wallflowers shyly decline. Zounds! Zounds! Those wallflowers sure are shy. Those grapes look awfully sour. Alexander addresses the grapes.
Hi.
Why are you so sour, if you don't mind my asking?
Well, we'll tell you. How would you like to have the possibility of being made into wine hanging over your head? And then there's our neighbors, the clinging vines. All they do all day is whine about the Ivy League social climbers that never call. It's really just no fun at all.
That's too bad. Well, I hope things start looking up.
Thanks a lot.
Alexander picks a head of iceberg lettuce.
We have to move quick on this.
Ye gads! Is that cold?
Well, it is iceberg lettuce. You thought it was just a name, didn't you? No, you didn't. You could clearly tell what was going on there. As soon as he said iceberg lettuce, you knew.
Alexander feels a strange pulling sensation.
It will melt if you stay way too long, or if you don't, do what you need to do with it. And what you need to do with it is put it in this here boiling
Hoping
water.
to cool down the boiling pond, Alexander throws in a head of iceberg lettuce. The pond's water slowly stops boiling, cooled by the ice. It still looks hot, but bearable. Alexander decides to brave the steaming pond.
Ouch! Ow! Ooh, 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 ouch!
The pond is no longer boiling, but it's hardly bathwater.
That's a pity.
Alexander takes the old hunter's lamp from the tree. Alexander rubs the lamp, but nothing happens.
Not a surprise.
As Alexander continues down the path, he gets the strange feeling that he's being watched.
Come on over here and see what I'm doing with these flowers. Never mind that stone fella on top of the gate. He won't hurt you any. He's just there to scare you.
It's aiming at me.
Alexander picks up the brick.
I think we know where this guy is going, so let's not bother.
You aren't gonna listen to me, are you?
Nope.
Well, we'll just see about that.
That's odd. The gardener just disappeared.
We're going to have to do that several times.
Alexander pulls...
Alright, pull out the magic map. Back
Alexander
to the Isle
feels
of
a...
Wonder. I may not be able to remember what I'm supposed to do with that, those flowers and whatever. I do remember a few things. Like you're supposed to give one of these things some milk.
Alexander gives one of the baby's tears a bottle of milk.
This, of course, makes the
other
others
baby's tears
cry.
seem to resent Alexander's gift for some reason.
It's called jealousy. And then I take this.
Alexander has no reason to gather tears in that lamp. Alexander...
Guess I was mistaken. Oh well.
Yuck. Alexander doesn't want to put his bare hands in that oozy swamp.
Some things I am just not remembering.
Alexander feels
But I
a
do remember
strange
one
pulling...
thing. With absolute certainty. And that... What's this?
Alexander doesn't remember that sign being on the wall before. He decides to take a closer look. It's a proclamation. It reads, "Citizens rejoice," announcing the royal wedding and coronation of Wazir Abdul al-Hazred and Princess Kasima. For reasons of security, the wedding will not be open to the public. Long live the new king and queen of the land of the Green Isles.
Well, that makes me sad.
Alexander feels his stomach turn at the thought of the dread event. If he doesn't do something soon, Kasima will be another man's wife.
Not to mention the mad Arab's wife.
Your candy dish is empty.
I am sorry, sir, but I have no more mints. Somebody has eaten them all.
Well, get some more then.
I fear that is impossible. Without the ferry, I can no longer get imports from the other islands, and we do not grow mint extract on the Isle of the Crown.
Oh, I hate not getting what I want.
Harumph. Charming sword, isn't he? Here, give me back my ring, man.
I found this large pearl. Might it be valuable enough to ransom back my family ring?
You don't have to call it that. That's the weirdest whistling face I've ever seen.
Pearl. Certainly you can have your ring back.
Oh, I'm glad you didn't sell it. I'm a bit attached to it, I'm afraid.
Of course you are. You would be cold-hearted if you felt any differently. I am happy to see a family heirloom back with its rightful owner.
Would you mind if I...
Of course.
Alexander...
I think I want the flute now.
I'll take the flute.
The flute?
The flute? Go in here.
Hello. I will be right up.
No, you don't have to. I'm not here for
Now.
you.
What can I do for you?
I'm here to talk to the clown.
Why would Alexander want to offer the strange man his insignia ring?
Yeah.
Good day, sir. Is there anything you can tell me about the land of the Green Isles?
I'm sorry, but I have no time for idle conversation. I'm too worried about the princess.
Determined to learn more about the strange man's relationship with the princess, Alexander shows the man his insignia
Have you
ring
been sleeping
and
with her
formally
too?
Introduces himself.
That whore!
I'm sorry to insist, but my name is Alexander of Daventry, and...
I appreciate the offer of the ring, Alexander, but I'm afraid I'm already spoken. Daventry? Where have I heard of Daventry? Flying flit mice. You
Sorry?
must be Prince Alexander. Kasima told me about you when she arrived home. How
Did
came
she?
you here?
Why, by a ship now wrecked upon the sand. But you know
Forget all the
Kasima?
people who are probably dead
She
because
truly
of it.
spoke of me?
Yes, I saw her briefly when she first returned home. She mentioned a prince to me, Prince Alexander of Daventry. I'm afraid that was before she was told about her parents' deaths.
Ooh.
You see, she arrived home a few weeks too late. The king and queen thought they'd never see her again. It is said
And
they
they
died
never
of
did.
heartbreak. I'm afraid she's blamed herself.
What a terrible homecoming. If we had only known.
Terrible indeed, poor thing. Everyone in the kingdom seems to despair with her these days. The streets are silent.
Where is
Yeah,
she
I
now?
noticed that.
The princess is sequestered in mourning. It's a rather dated tradition, and not required, but the Wazir says she insisted out of respect.
I see. You've yet to say who you are, and how you know the princess.
I? Oh, pardon me. My name is Jalo. I am clown to the royal court, and had been since the marriage of Casima's parents, King Calipham and Queen Alaria. Oh, those were the happy days. The pair of them were so full of joy and life.
You don't
So
really look much
loved.
like a clown.
and Casima's birth. It would be hard to explain how long they had waited, how they had hoped for a child. I mean, she was such a charming little thing, smart as a whip, kind and sweet. Oh, she means everything to this kingdom, Alexander, and to me. I'm so terribly worried about her.
Why?
About her grief over her parents, you mean?
Well, the truth is, I do not trust the Wazir or his plans for Casima. I'm still living at the Castle of the Crown as court clown, his clown. But it is more to keep my ear to the ground than out of loyalty. I wish I knew what the princess thinks these days. If only I could find Sing Sing, Casima's pet nightingale. I might be able to send the princess a message. As it is, I must wait for the end of her seclusion.
What can you tell me about the Wazir?
He's a dick.
The Wazir? Now there's a dangerous subject. His name is Abdul al-Hazred. He came to the kingdom 15 years ago. The king was fascinated by his knowledge and his fine-sounding ideas. It didn't take long for al-Hazred to convince the king to trust him with the minor problems of daily government. You see, Caliph had a wife and a new daughter he wanted to spend time with. Al-Hazred became Wazir.
Wazir?
And now?
Well, he's had his eye on Casima ever since she was a young girl.
And
she is the only thing between him and the throne.
Do you think he means to harm her?
Oh, I honestly don't know. I think he'd rather keep her as wife. But whatever his plans for the princess, he will use her to his best advantage. That's his way.
Perhaps he has charmed her. Perhaps she cares for him now.
The Wazir is capable of anything. And Casima must be vulnerable and lonely right now.
No.
Still, she has always instinctively distrusted him. Casima has a good head on her shoulders. I'd be surprised if she's truly fallen for his words of love. Now I must return to the castle. Look, I don't want to arouse suspicion. I'll try to meet you here again later.
Thank you for the information, Jallo. Be very careful.
Oh, boy. Well, it was important to talk to him anyway. Huh, am I supposed to be following him? Don't remember that. I think I'm supposed to do this.
Alexander shows the object to the bird, hoping to interest her. The nightingale just looks warily at Alexander and keeps her distance.
Oh, shit. Stupid, stupid, stupid. You guys know what the problem is, don't you?
Day.
Would you mind?
Of course.
Alexander.
Fortunately, I can do this as many times as I so wish.
Very.
Sierra was slightly easing back on their dicketry.
Alexander winds the mechanical nightingale and places it on the ground.
Because naturally a
The
nightingale
mechanical
would fall for it.
nightingale sings a sweet, tinny tune. The real nightingale in the tree cocks her head and listens intently. The nightingale flies to a lower branch and looks at Alexander curiously, as if she were deciding that this human might not be so bad.
Because that's how birds think. Now, as I was doing before...
Alexander holds out his
Hey, what the-
insignia ring to the nightingale.
Oh, come on,
hoping
really?
She perhaps is the nightingale that Jallo spoke of, and that she might be able to take the ring to Casima.
Go away! Oh, for Christ's
The
sake.
nightingale swoops down and grabs the ring. She flies off towards the castle. Perhaps...
Fruff.
Sing Sing, what have you got in your mouth, my pretty? A gold ring?
I really hope you guys
Sing
can't see
Sing,
that, but
where
I know
did
you
get
do.
This? Realm of Daventry.
I know you do.
But this is Alexander's ring. Oh, my soul, he must be here. Sing Sing, I wish you could tell me what you've seen. Is he really here, then, on this very island? Oh, if only I could leave this castle as easily as you.
You could
Take this
jump in.
ribbon, Sing Sing. If you know where he is, return it to him. Please be careful, Alexander. It is so dangerous, and yet I could not wish you away.
Give it. It's mine now.
The little bird makes a delivery. It's a red velvet hair ribbon. Could it be? Could it possibly belong to Cosima herself?
Well, let's find out.
Or am I merely wishing it were so? Oh.
Let's have ourselves a nice little look.
Alexander examines the red ribbon and finds a strand of long black hair.
Could be hers.
The strand of hair from the red ribbon is the color of midnight. Alexander can only hope that it belongs to his true love.
Okay, don't be creepy about it.
Alexander holds out the love poem, hoping
I'm
that
sorry
the
that
bird
you
will
guys have
deliver
to
it
deal
to
with
the
this.
same place she took the ring, in the chance that the receiver might truly be Cosima.
But, you know, you might as well do this before ending the video.
The nightingale swoops down, grabs the love poem,
God knows I
and
might
takes
forget
it towards
next
the
time.
castle.
Sing Sing, my sweet, you bring another present. Let me see. It is a poem, Sing Sing.
What was it when I looked at you?
Yeah, we've read this.
Oh, Alexander. I was hoping he'd return to you. Take this to him while he waits. Hurry, my fleet one.
Okay, what do we got now? I honestly don't recall.
The little bird makes a delivery. It's a note.
Dearest Alexander, I cannot believe you are here, my friend. Please,
Friend?
please be careful.
I've
Abdul
been
isn't
friend-zoned
about to let
already.
anyone interfere with his plans. Watch out for Abdul's genie, Alexander, and do not do anything rash. I am not without resources, and I will prevail if I can only find some small means of defense. Do nothing to try to get to me. You must not be endangered again for my sake. Greatly in your family's debt, Cosima.
Alexander's hand trembles as he reads the note. For the first time in his long search, he has heard her voice again, if
In his
only
head.
in writing. No words of love, only friendly concern. Friend. Is the maiden merely shy, or does she regard him only as a brother?
Like I said, friend-zoned. But that'll be something to deal with later. I'm the Blues 32. This is King's Quest 6. TTFN. Ta-ta for now. I have no idea what to do next.